Hey guys, it's Saleh. XAI, or the team behind the Grok model, or as they are usually called, Elon Musk, just released Grok 4 model. Now, as always with everything Elon Musk, there's a lot of hype behind this. So in this video, what I want to particularly test is how good this model is for algo trade. So that means tasks such as writing strategies or debugging them or coming up with new trading ideas. So if that all sounds interesting to you, let's get right into it. Now this is the official benchmark released by their team, and if you take a look at the LCB, which stands for Live Coding Benchmark, which is the one we care for this task, shows that Grok 4, without any tools of course, because if it is using tools, we don't know which type of tools it is using, and we're definitely not using it here. So this is the one we care about, and also this is the one that all the other models have, such as O3 and Gemini 2.5. So it is showing significant improvements compared to at least Gemini 2.5 Pro. Now notice that they are not comparing it to Claude Sonnet 4, and I think that's intentional because, at least to my opinion, Claude Sonnet is still the king of LLM models, at least for coding. But anyway, so it sounds like it's really good. But I found it to be a bit more expensive than even Claude Sonnet. So what I really want to see is if it actually blows me out of the water. So anyways, I updated our JesseGPT to have the Grok 4 model. And as you can see, it is indeed more expensive than all the other models. Now, if you don't want to use JesseGPT for either privacy concerns or if you don't want to pay us anything, that's perfectly fine. You can watch this video of mine where I show you how you can self-host this thing by yourself. Because remember, we want to test it for algo trading, and the instructions that I'm feeding the model are specifically for this use case. So either use JesseGPT as I am in this video, or go with the self-hosted solution. In the previous video where I tested the Claude 4 model, we used a pass or fail ranking model. But in your comments, you guys suggested for me to use a number-based model. So in this video, we're going to rank every task that the model does from 0 to 10. And in the end, we're going to end up with a total score. All right, so let's begin with the hello world question of algo trading. Write a golden cross strategy that uses the 50 and 100 moving averages. Close the position when the enter rule is no longer valid. It took a long time for the model to finish this question. I'm guessing this is because since they just launched the model, maybe their API is under heavy traffic. But anyways, so this seems perfectly fine. It defined the moving average with a period of 50 and 100, passes current candles, is perfectly correct. It defined a trend property. It returns 1 for uptrend and -1 for a downtrend. Then in the should long, it's asking whether or not the current trend equals 1 or an uptrend, in other words. It is not shorting, which is fine because I didn't ask for it. It's also defined this one, which it didn't really have to. And when the current trend equals -1, it is liquidating the current position, which is exactly what I asked it to do. And it is also very briefly explaining what it did. So I like this answer. Let's copy it. Go to Jesse and create a new strategy. Now I'm going to call it test Grok 4. Let's paste it here. Go to backtest. Let's close these. And I'm going to define the duration of it since the beginning of this year. Pick BTC USDT and choose the hourly time frame because I don't really care about the metrics of the strategy right now, so I'm not going to test all the time frames. I just want to see if it runs well. And let's pick test Grok 4. Now the fast mode should be on. Let's run it. And it runs just fine. It executed 25 trades. It didn't make a profit. The max drawdown is -36. The win rate is 28%. All right, so this is fine. And I'm going to give it a perfect 10. Next, convert this Pine script strategy into Python code. Now I need a Pine script code to feed the model. So I'm going to look up a strategy called Super Trend on TradingView. And it is this one, Super Trend strategy. And here are the supposedly results of its backtest. Now to get the code, I'm gonna click here, and this is the Pine script that I'm looking for. So let's go back and do this. Now, unfortunately, no matter how many times I tried this question, it just doesn't work and it doesn't give me any answer. I'm not sure why that's the case, because I tried it with Grok 3, the previous version of them, and it works fine, or with any other model on JesseGPT. But for this question, it's not. So unfortunately, I have no choice but to give them 0 for this question. Next, develop a mean divergence strategy using the Bollinger Bands and the RSI with a 7 period. Right, so here it is. It didn't do syntax highlighting. That's because of this extra py that you see here. So that's fine. Let's copy it. Go back and paste the code here. And also make sure to remove this extra py. Now, let's take a look. It defined the Bollinger Bands. It named it BB, which is fine. Defined the RSI with the correct syntax and also the period of 7. In the should long, which is the entry rules of the strategy, it's saying if the closing price is below the lower band, and the current RSI value is also below 30. That's perfectly correct. It did the opposite for short positions. It's returning true for should cancel entry, which is only helpful if we are using a limit order or a sub order to enter the positions, which we are not, because here you see we are using the current price, which causes Jesse to submit a market order. Now here it's using size to quantity and passing the entire available margin. That's perfectly fine. And in the update position, which only gets called after a position is already open, it's saying if it's a long position, but the current closing price is above the middle band, I want to liquidate the position. And for a short position, do the other way around. That's perfectly correct. So let's go back and run a backtest. And it runs perfectly fine. Actually, did I save it? No, sorry, I didn't save the code. So by pressing Command S or this button, we can save it. So let's go back and run it one more time. And we're getting an error. Okay, now this is fine. It's because of that extra py. I forgot to remove it this time. All right, so one last time. And it goes through. All right, so this is fine. It executed 155 trades, and yet it didn't lose that much. Actually, I think this strategy has some good potential in it. The win rate is 63%. I like this. I might actually work on this later. So we're gonna give it a perfect 10. All right, next, write a strategy that uses Fibonacci retracement levels for entry and exit points. So this is a tough one. All right, after a lot of time, it finally printed out the result. So let's copy it, go to Jesse, edit the code and paste it here and save it before I forget. Now, it named it Fib retracement. It defines swing period as 50. This is the look back period for swing high or low, which is indeed needed. The swing high is saying mp.max. The current candles, it's only selecting the swing period, which again is the look back period. Now, I think a better name for this would have been just look back period. But anyways, so it is selecting the index of 3. Now in Jesse, the indexes of candles goes 0 for timestamp, then 1 for open, 2 for close, 3 for high, 4 for low, and 5 for volume. So 3 for high is correct, and 4 for low is also correct. Now, the fib levels, this is the important one. It's saying the diff equals swing high minus swing low, and it defined the 3 levels as swing low plus the difference multiplied by this Fibonacci number, and then this one and this one. Okay, this is not only true, but I kind of like how it wrote it. It's very simple and practical. Now then it defined an EMA fast with a period of 50, another one with a period of 200 for slow. The uptrend is when the EMA fast is above EMA slow. The downtrend is the opposite of that. And for should long, it's saying fetch me the Fibonacci level of 61.8, the previous close. And it's saying if it's an uptrend and the previous close is below this Fibonacci while the current close is above it, right? So it's trying to detect whether or not we have just crossed it. Then we want to go long. All right, so let's draw the Fibonacci line over a chart. Now, here's the 0.5 line. Here's 0.382 and this is 0.618. Now it's saying that whenever the price crosses this line, like in this case, we want to go long. So it's some kind of a breakout strategy. It's not a mean reversion, right? So we're not trying to open a long position when the price is here, for example. Instead, we want to cross this line. So it is technically correct, I guess, but it's not how I'm used to Fibonacci. It's perfectly fine though. All right, so let's see how it's opening the position. It's using a market order. And here you can see the entry is the current price. The stop loss is set at the Fibonacci line of 38, which is this line. For quantity, it is risking 3% of the entire account. And for a short position, it's doing the opposite. Now, when we open the position, we are submitting the take profit and we're using the TP level of this. So if it's a long position, it's saying I want the swing high plus the difference between swing high and the swing low multiplied by this. So again, this is really interesting. It's not using the typical Fibonacci levels for exiting the trade. It's basically expecting the price to continue to go up, again, because it's supposed to be a breakout strategy according to the model. But even for that, it is using the Fibonacci lines because it believes these are magic numbers. So this is certainly interesting, but again, this isn't how I'm used to Fibonacci. So I don't know, let's run and see if it gives us maybe good results. But I know one thing, it is not submitting the stop loss here. If it had submitted the stop loss here, it would have been fine, but it's not. It is defining the stop price, but it didn't do something like this. I mean, if it did it like this, stop loss, it would have been fine. So because in Jesse, you don't have to define the stop loss inside the unopened position. You could also do it here, but that only works if it's a futures account. If it's a spot, you cannot do that, but it's not doing that. Instead, inside the update position is saying that if it's a long position and we're not in upturn anymore, liquidate the current position. So basically, we are not submitting a stop loss. I don't love that, to be honest, especially because it did calculate the stop loss here. It should have submitted it here. So that's at least one mistake. So let's go to the backtest and run it and see if it goes through. All right, so here's the result. It runs fine. The results aren't great. Let's also try it with another time frame at least, because I am curious. All right, so with the 4 hours, it's actually doing really well. So the drawdown is good. This is a good PNL. The win rate is really high, and the Sharp is 2.3. So I really like this. So you know what? Let's also backtest it for 1 year earlier, because I'm really curious about this one. All right, so it is losing here, but starting here, it just went up and up. So this is actually good. Like even in here, it didn't do that bad. So I think this strategy has some good potential in it. So I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. I will subtract 1 because based on how it calculated the stop loss itself, it should have also submitted the order, but it didn't. All right, next I'm gonna ask it to update my code to display the values of important indicators of my strategy in backtests for debugging purposes. So this is a typical task that I use AI every day because I'm a bit lazy and I don't want to do it manually. Now for this one, we need a code of a strategy, and I'm gonna use this strategy which I submitted just a few days ago. If you haven't watched the video for it, go and check it out. So here it is. Let's do this. And actually we already had the indicator values, so let's remove it and hit enter. All right, so let's copy the whole thing. Go back, update the code, paste it here and save it. And this is how it did it. Add line to candle chart for TEMA 10 and TEMA 80. It created a new extra line chart for the long-term TEMA values, which used the 4-hour time frame. It added a new one for ADX, a new one for CMO, and it also added one just for the trend lines. So it's a bit too much, but it should run just fine. So let's go back, bring this back to the beginning of 2025 and run it again. And here it is. So it executed 9 trades. All right, so let's go back and make sure the backtest duration is since the beginning of 2025. And also let's make sure the interactive charts option is enabled. And now let's run it. Here it is. And if I open this option, all right, now we have so many charts that it doesn't allow us to see our candles chart. Now that's not great, but there is a fix for it. So let's first take a look at these numbers. So for the long-term tema, it looks perfectly fine. The ADX is also fine. It's an oscillator between 0 and 100. The CMO also looks perfectly fine. It also defined the thresholds for upper and lower at 40 and minus 40. It also did a fine job for the trend. But here's the thing. I don't think it should have defined the values of tema 70 and 20 in another chart. It should have simply added it to the main candle chart, which we cannot see here. So let's close this, go back and edit it. Now you see here, it shouldn't have done this, but I'm just going to disable it because I want to lower the number of charts. So let's disable these two, go back and run it again. Now we can actually see the candles chart and also where we bought and where we sold. Of course, we can also check out the trades. For example, we can see the orders of this trade, which caused us to lose. So we shorted, but the price went up. And here we can see that the ADX was indeed above the threshold and everything was according to the strategy, but still it lost money. And we can also see that the tema 10 and tema 80 are added to this chart, which makes it really easy for us to see. So this is good, but it didn't do a perfect job. Like I didn't like that it added one new chart just for a value that it could have easily added here. But I don't want to be too harsh on it, so I'm going to give it 9. Next, write a trend following strategy that uses 50 minutes time frame for entry and 4 hours time frame for confirmation. All right, so let's copy the whole thing, go back to Jesse and edit the code, paste it here. Now let's take a look. It's supposed to be a trend following strategy that uses a 15 minutes time frame. Now this one depends on our pick of the time frame when running the backtest. But as for the 4 hours, it's defining the candles 4 hours. It's using the get candles and it's specifying the time frame as 4 hours. That's correct. It defined the EMA of 50 using that 4 hours. Again, like this. Now I like this syntax that it first defined a property, which makes it easy to access here instead of selecting the candles one more time in here. It did it again here. For the trend, it's saying if the last value of this. Now, we usually don't do this in Jesse because we can simply write it as this, right? We don't need this. But because it passed the sequential as true, it did have to do this. Now, I don't approve of this. It's not as readable as I like it to be, but it's correct and it should go just fine. For an uptrend, it is returning 1. For a downtrend, it's returning -1 and 0 for neutral. Then it defined the MACD like this. And in should long, it's saying that if the last value of MACD is bigger than the last value of MACD signal, and if the trend is 1, it should go long. It's doing the opposite for short trend. All right, so it seems fine. And for the stop loss, it's saying the entry -2 times of the ATR. This is also perfectly correct. So everything seems fine. But again, I don't love it that it did here because unless you specifically need the previous values, never use the sequential value. It just makes your code a little bit more complex and harder to read. All right, let's run it. And here it is. All right, so it runs just fine. They executed 21 trades. Oh, we forgot to set the time frame to 15 minutes. So if I run it again, at this time we should get an error saying that we are missing the 4 hours time frame because I didn't specify it. But since this is backtest, Jesse is smart enough to take care of it for us. But if you are trading a strategy like this in a live trading mode, you have to also define the data route for it, which is like this. So the same symbol, except that the time frame is now 4 hours instead of 15 minutes. Now, if I run this one, I shouldn't get any errors. All right, so it's fine that it's losing money because I found scalping strategies to lose money unless if you have so many filters, because it's taking 271 trades, and of course it's paying a lot of money just for the fees. So it makes sense, and the win rate isn't really great. But anyways, so it ran just fine, but I'm gonna give it a 9 again because I didn't like how it defined the indicator values and it was using the sequential property, which wasn't really needed. Now, the next question is actually really interesting. So I'm gonna say, here's the code for my trend following strategy in the 15 minutes time frame. The strategy is losing money because it is taking so many trades and there are false breakouts during the ranging markets. Please improve the strategy. So I'm gonna paste the strategy that it just gave me, and remember it was losing money, right? So I want to see if the model is now smart enough, if it has some actual trading knowledge to know what it should do to improve the results of such a case. So this isn't really related to the syntax, it's related to the knowledge. And this model is supposed to be really good at that. So let's see. All right, so here's the code. Let's copy it, go back and paste it here. Now let's see what is changed. So in here, other than checking for the MACD values and the trend, it also added both the ADX and the CHOP indicator. Now these are really good. In fact, I always use them myself. The ADX gives us basically whether or not the price is volatile enough or not. And the choppiness is actually ensuring that there is less randomness in the price. Because if there are too many random stuff happening in the market, we want to stay out of it, right? Because we cannot really predict things if randomness is all over the place. So I actually like this, and it shows me that the model has some good trading knowledge. Now for the chop, it's using the 50 threshold, and for ADX 25. Now both of them are fine. Let's go back and run it one more time. Now remember, this is the result that we had. So we ended with 5,696. Now we are doing significantly better. Now we're still losing money in the end, but it's only 2.6%. Right, so I'm gonna give it a perfect 10 because it did a good job. Next question, develop a strategy that combines the Williams percentage R, MACD, and Bollinger Bands. So I expect this one to be really easy for it. Okay, so this seems fine. Let's go back and edit the code, paste it here, save it. Now let's take a look. The William R is defined like this. Now, to be honest, I'm not sure about the syntax of this in Jesse, so we're gonna find out when we run it. The MACD is fine. The Bollinger Bands is also fine. For the entry, it's saying if the Williams R is below -80, which is correct, and the MACD is above its signal, and if the closing price is below the lower band. So this seems perfect to me. It's also risking only 3% of the available margin per each trade, which is a good practice in my case. It's also risking 3% per each trade, which is good practice. And for update position, it's saying if it's a long position, but the Williams R is now below -20, or we're not in uptrend anymore, or if the price is above the upper band of the Bollinger Bands, then I want to liquidate it. And also the opposite for a short trade. So this seems really good. Let's run it. All right, so this is good, especially that we are trading it with the 15 minutes. If I go back and let's say we run this with hourly, okay, same numbers. Let's also try 4 hours. Now we ended with a profit, but it only took 2 trades. So let's also try 30 minutes because I'm really curious. So while that's going, I want to quickly remind you guys about Apex Omni, which is my favorite DEX made by the team behind Bybit. It has low trading fees, instant order execution, and of course, no KYC whatsoever. If you're going to check them out, please consider using our link, which not only will give you trading fee discounts, but it will also support me in order to make more videos like this. Okay, it did better. It took 18 trades. The max drawdown is -1. We made 6.7%. The win rate is 55%. The Sharp is 2. So while that's going, I want to quickly remind you guys about Apex Omni, which is my favorite DEX made by the team behind Bybit. It has low trading fees, instant order execution, and of course, no KYC whatsoever. If you're going to check them out, please consider using our link, which not only will give you trading fee discounts, but it will also support me in order to make more videos like this. The Sharp is 1.55. I really like this. Like if I go back here and just increase the size of the position with a huge number, let's say 5, and save it. So this is pretty interesting. I think I've found a good strategy kind of by accident. So now when the max drawdown is -12%, we're making 84% over 1.5 years. So this is good, and it definitely has some real potential. All right, so I'm gonna give it a perfect 10, but I wish I could have given it a bigger number. Next, write the entry functions of the strategy for me in a way that it should use 2 limit orders for opening the position, and it should only risk 2% of capital per trade. Again, this is an easy one, but I wanna see if it's smart enough to just give me one function, not the entire strategy, because sometimes that's all you need, right? Now, of course, I could have also told the model about this, but I didn't do it. I want to see if it's smart enough to figure it out. All right, so it didn't. That's not great. Now for entry, it is indeed using 2 market orders. So it got that right. So it's using half the quantity for the first order, and for the price, it's saying the current price minus the current ATR multiplied by half, and also another one exactly 1 ATR below the current price. So this is perfect, and it is also risking 2% per each trade. So it's correct, but it's not giving it in a one single function as I wanted it. It's just giving me the entire strategy. So it's good, but I'm gonna give it a 9. And last but not least, write a pairs trading strategy for ETH and BTC. All right, so for this one, it's supposed to give us 2 strategies, and it did do that. So you see, we have one master strategy, which is guiding all the other routes, and then we have follower strategies. The first strategy is supposed to make all the decisions, and it is indeed doing that. And using the shared vars dictionary in Jesse, it's storing these variables in a way that the second strategy is able to access it. So in case you didn't know, this is the way for strategies in Jesse to communicate with each other. Now in this case, we have only 2 strategies or 2 symbols, but if you were trading, let's say 10 or 20 or 50 symbols, still this would have been the way to trade them all. Now let's copy this one, go back to Jesse, but I want to create a new strategy. I'm gonna name it test Grok for pair 1 and save it. Next, I will create another one. I will call it test Grok for pair 2 and copy this one and paste it here. Notice that second strategy doesn't have trading logics by itself. It's only using the values of shared vars to see what the decision has been made for it by the other strategy. Now, if what I'm doing here is a bit too complex for you for this specific strategy, make sure to watch my previous video called Pair Strategy from Scratch in Python. With that one, I explain everything in depth about how to go about it. So let's go to the backtesting page, and now I'm gonna define 2 trading routes. The first one for BTC and the second for ETH/USDT. The time frame is 15 minutes. Test Grok pair 1 and test Grok pair 2. And I'm gonna disable the fast mode because it doesn't work for strategies that use multiple trading routes like this one. And let's start it. and it's saying we're missing candles. Okay, so that's because I don't have enough candles until this date. So let's lower the ending date of the backtest. Okay, so it's saying that this strategy name isn't defined. So let's go back and edit the code here. Okay, so this is because we only pasted the strategies code, but not the initial imports. So that's fine because, you know, it does have it here. It's assuming that we also had it when it defined this one. So, I mean, it's okay. It should have given it to us, but I'm gonna pretend that didn't happen. Let's go back and run it one more time. And now it does go through. Now we're losing money. That's fine because it's taking a lot of trades and we're paying a lot of money in trading fees. In fact, if I go and lower the trading fees, let's say to 0, as if we own the exchange we were trading this on, and run it again, now we are ending up with a little bit of money. Okay, so this was really good, but because it forgot the imports, I'm gonna give it a 9. All right, there we go. The ending number for this LLM model by the Grok team is 85 out of 100. However, this is mainly because we gave it a 0 for this question, but I'm guessing that might have to do with the fact that they have just released the model and maybe their API just was failing in this case, and maybe even tomorrow or the next day if you try it, it might work. And if that's the case, then this is actually a really, really good model. In every question, we basically gave it either 10 or 9, so it's really good. So overall, I think I really like this model, and maybe at least whenever Claude Sonnet fails to get the job done, I try it with this one. Or maybe vice versa. Maybe I begin this one and switch back to Claude when this isn't able to get it done. But let's not forget that this model is also a bit more expensive, and I am not sure if I can say it is worth the price. Now, before I leave, we're gonna have a giveaway for this video as well. A random person who likes this video, posts a comment and subscribes to the channel is going to win 1 million bank token. Now let's pick the winner for the previous video. And the winner is P5G. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correct. It's Chinese if I'm not mistaken. Thank you so much for your comment. Please reach out to me so I can send you your bank tokens. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.